Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Feels like just about an hour ago since we ended Don's stream, but we're back. What a day today. Yeah, this day is still going, still in the trade. Market's closed at the moment, but it will be opening up in about 45 minutes here, so we'll see. Yeah, it's not over yet. Everyone's still in, right? Who's still in? Who is still in the trade at the moment? I know maybe 80% of you guys are. How many people are here right now? 12? At least 9 of you. Swear to God. Hello. Close at 40 pips. Nice. How did you close at 40 pips? Did you not take the first one, you took the second one, or? Yeah, but for everybody who is still in the actual trade, both positions, or all three positions, we're still waiting for it to play out, right? I think we're like so close to break even at the moment. Market's closed at the moment, so no volume, right? Nobody's actually trading at this time. Markets are taking a bit of a rest, a bit of a break, and they'll be back. Don't worry, the markets will be back. But yeah, hope everybody is doing well. Let me just go poach some viewers from Don's stream real quick. Let me just send them the link. There you go. Let's see how many people are going to join. Link has been sent to the DVS crew. If you've just joined from Don's stream, welcome. We will be starting very shortly. You have no link? Well, you're here, so I think that's fine. Alright, that's the main thing. Let me just set up a live chat. Yo, welcome everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. We're back. Oh, hey Husky. Is that actually you? I swear, anyone can just say, this is Husky. Or is it a different Husky? Who knows? No face cam? I mean, I've tried face cam, but it's just... Man, I can't get it to work. I need to fix it across over Christmas or whatever. Oh, it is Husky. Yeah, nice to see you. Are you in the trade? Or did you exit already? Were you looking for sales instead? Music's a tad loud. I will turn it down. But yeah, guys, we're going to be starting in about 5 minutes here. But it should be good. How's everyone doing? How's everybody feeling in drawdown? Everybody doing okay? Doing well, doing well. Drawdown's just drawdown, right? We'll be in it again. There's nothing we can do. Start Don's live? Yeah. 1983 is very achievable. Oh, your journal is kind of fucked up? DM me on EvolutionDVS and then, yeah, send me a couple screenshots and I can help you out. No, I don't think you will see a big gap, mainly because you're mid-week, right? You're in the middle of the week. Usually if you get a gap, it's over the weekend. And that's the, like, you know, the result of over the weekend people, you know, trying, like, once you get into Sunday night or Monday morning, right? Depending on what time zone you're in, it just, you know, pops. And that's usually the orders left from the end of the week, or the orders that have just come in, and that's just, you know, price driving in different directions, different prices to what it was opening or what it closed at on Friday. That's the gap, right? Times does Asian usually open? Asian, I think, starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. I think we're streaming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern or something. But Wix is like, I think 2 hours, 3 hours after me. Yeah, you have all the links there for every single person's stream as well. So you have Don, then you have me, right? Then you have Wix, you have Kieran, Janez, Huss, everyone. Yeah. How long have I been trading? I've been following Don for about 8 months now, I'd say. So I started trading, well, officially, I think, in around March, mid-March. Yeah, I think that's the issue. Like, that's why we try to get 24/7 coverage, right? Because if we do, then everybody from any time zone can watch DVS. That's the goal, right? So if you can't do Janez, or if you can't do Wix, right? You then have, you know, some other streamers to watch, to understand, you know, like do some learning, whether that's learning or actually getting trades, right? Do I like trading from my experience? I mean, yeah. I mean, I've got experience for about 8 months, I would say. But I look at a lot of things that Don usually looks at. Same concepts as him. You know, I went to Miami, we met him, you know, I helped him build out the journal. I helped him, you know, improve some other aspects of, you know, recording things. We're looking into education. We're looking into how we can improve the actual course. A bit of everything, right? Strategy is the DonVo strategy. Yeah, I mean, doing better is the way forward, right? You're not trying to become fully profitable in one day. That doesn't happen, right? Just take your time. What's the rush? If you're in a rush, it means that you have goals. You have goals set, like usually there'll be like monetary goals. So you have to achieve, say, I don't know, you have to make 1K by the end of the month, right? If that's your goal, then that means you got to chase that. If you're 300 short the last day, what are you going to do? All right. But cool, guys, probably going to get started around here. So obviously we are still in the trade. The trade is, I'll just do the breakdown of the trade first, right? And then we'll come back to it. But I'm also going to do a normal analysis, I would say. So the trade at the moment, I would say, let's mark up some of our ranges. I'd say you have a bit of a kind of top of the range around these areas. Cool, you know, just in around these areas. So it looks like this is more the bottom of the range, which is fantastic to know because now you've broken back in. So this is likely to be a fake out, right? Have I got a good grasp of the DonVo strategy? I would say so, right? Okay, so you had a bit, basically somewhat of a fake out, right? Coming down all the way, and now you're closing back above 1979, right? And now that you're doing that, you're probably gonna fill the top of the range, right? The top of the range in this case looks to be around these areas. If you're looking at, you know, the smaller time frame, the 30 or the hourly, right? So as that's happening, you see this candle, right? It's come up to the top of the range. Now it's coming back down. So you're just in this range at the moment. You haven't really gone anywhere, right? For you to come up to the top of the range is not difficult, and that's, I think, where our overall TP is towards 1983, right? But are we going to see more drawdown first? There is a chance, right? Depending on how the next daily opens up, right? Because we are bearish but respecting, I would say, 1981. So at this point, am I bearish or am I bullish? I'm a little bit mixed today, I would say, or going into tomorrow, I would say, right? Understanding that you've closed right at a support, and every time you have closed at the support, you have had quite a lot of rejection, or like, you know, price has struggled here for sure, right? You have all of these price points, all of these times price has struggled around these areas. So it's pretty safe to say price is likely to struggle at this point, which you currently are, right? You're currently struggling here. So for us to drive down, what are we going to need to see? Probably a break of all of these highs to come down, right? Because now that you're consolidating in this area, you're understanding that you don't have enough liquidity being grabbed in these areas for you to continue pushing down. So the liquidity is going to be grabbed above the range, right? Anywhere around these areas. If we look left, last time we were in these areas, cool, we pushed down, right? So in this area, we pushed down, but we didn't push down all the way to here. Why? Because we didn't have enough liquidity. So we came up, we tapped into 1985.1, I would say, right? For 1.4, whatever. So this is the liquidity we're looking for, right? But with our current pineapples, I would say that we're able to take advantage of this range and go break even towards, you know, somewhat around these areas. There is a chance as well that price will come down first to push up because we've closed out of support. So we need a bottom wick to come up, and you may see the next daily print something along the lines of this, right? You may see it do something like this, and if something like that happens, cool, that's fantastic, but you'll likely see it a bottom wick first, right? And the main thing is this is a higher time frame, so the bottom wick is probably going to be on the higher time frame. On the smaller time frame, you may see some smaller wicks. So what's that going to look like on the, like, for example, the hourly, right? What you might see is something that comes up, right, but after a bottom wick, right, that breaks some of these lows here. And if that happens, cool, we'll look to take price up. But at the moment, it's anyone's game, right? Price can come up or come down first, but we're understanding that regardless of what happens, there's a very high chance that price will tap this area, right? As we mentioned, if you're going to get buys, you're going to go up, right? Looks like you're going up. If you're going to come down, you're also going to need liquidity outside of the range, right? So if something like this happens, you're going to need liquidity outside of the range. So you will tap also into 1983. So it's a relatively safe space, I would say, for us to kind of put as TP, and for all of our positions to be closed out, I would say. So if you are in the trade, I would assure you it is fine, right? Just wait, be patient. Obviously, there's not much volume towards the end of the session. There's not much volume towards the beginning of the session when market opens, but over time, it's going to be fine, right? You know that price is just in this range. If you're looking at like the 515 as well, right? You're just coming up, and whatever, at any given point, price will just come up to the top of the range. You're going to get a fake out, which is going to be in the form of, you know, potentially a bearish candle, right? But after breaking the highs to come down. And then once that actually happens, then cool, you'll continue down, right? What if it goes down? Well, if it goes down, right, let's say it does something like this, and it doesn't actually create any top wicks, then it's still fine, because we're understanding that if you want to drive past this point, you need liquidity in these areas, right? So if it does that, the next candle is likely to create a top wick before you coming down, right? So if that's the case, right, if you're creating a top wick to come down, in that case, our TP is still here at 1983. Once that happens, you're good. You'll tap and you'll go down, right? But at the moment, I'd say you don't even have enough volume to do that, right? You're just in this range, in this massive, well, not very big range, in this range around here, right? Any given point, price is going to come up, come down, come up, come down, right? But yeah, is the music still loud? Okay, I'll turn it down a little bit more. Apologies. Yeah, I was on I was on mute for the Zooms, but you guys should be good now. You guys can hear me, yeah? Yeah, we good? All right, sick. Nice. Right, so that being said, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a full analysis for gold, right? So ignore the trade. Imagine the trade did not exist. We're just going to start from the monthly, right? We're just going to do a top-down analysis of gold. Understand that where is, we want to know where gold wants to go in the near future, the next day, this week, potentially even for the whole of December, right? And then also break that down towards, what can we capture on the 4-hour, hourly, and so on for the next day, right? Starting on the monthly, we are very bearish, right? We have created a top wick. If you didn't come to yesterday's analysis, right, we do the same analysis every day for the monthly, for every single month, right? What happened is we closed above for the previous month, right? And then we left a top wick and a range to fill. So we filled the range towards 2075, right? 2076. Once we fill that range, right? Cool. Price at this point can do anything it wants to do when it's here, right? And at this point, price opened up for, I think, Sunday, created a massive top wick and then started flipping down, right? You have an extremely steep top wick breaking into all-time highs, and then now you're flipping bearish, right? The chance of you coming down is now much higher, because if this was on the 5-minute time frame, you'd be worried, right, as price is closing back into this range potentially, that you're going to get a fake out. And as you're faking out, you're going to come down, you're going to fill the ranges. That could be down towards, 1917, could be potentially down towards 1800s or whatever in the future, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen right now, right? There is a chance of it happening in the future. I don't know when, but that's just the monthly time frame. We are bearish on the monthly time frame, right? On the weekly, right? On the weekly, you have closed back into the range. So if I remove everything here, I just have one line here, right? This is the most recent top of the range, I would say, right? At this point, and also at this point in all of these 3 times in history, you failed to close above, I would say, here, right? And once you did close above, cool, we drove up, now we're coming back down. You have a weekly closure that's below this range. Every time you close below here, you drive down, right? You didn't break above, you closed below, you drove down towards these areas. We analyzed that yesterday. There's a high chance that price will be driving down towards around these levels, right? And 1934. So that's, I would say, our overall weekly target. Potentially might happen within 1 or 2 weeks, right? But I'd say you have some pit stops towards around 1967. All right, understanding that as this is pushing down, you may have some sort of rejection around here, but overall, we're looking for 1934 to get tapped sometime in the future, right? So that establishes that we also have a weekly bearish bias, right? So cool. Now let's move on to the daily. So currently, weekly, monthly, we're very bearish, right? Daily, how did we close? I mentioned that we closed, I think, respecting something. Well, your daily, let's see if it potentially respected something here, right? Yeah, so we have a very strong level here, right? This is 1981. 1981 is very strong. Why? Because you have all of these, right? These 3, you have some resistance, you have some support, you have some resistance, right? Some resistance, support, resistance. If you go round, you just see this level as a very strong level for gold, right? All these wicks, right, couldn't break through. It's a very strong level for gold, right? What does that mean? It means that price is going to make a decision here, right? I'm not saying that price is definitely going to, reverse here, because at the same time, you are very bearish, right? We're bearish towards 1930 something, right, at the moment. But this is one of those points where gold may stop and hover for a bit, right? And if it wants to break through, there's a high chance that it will, need more liquidity. You're seeing that as gold reached these sorts of areas, I would say your entire kind of box for that is around this zone, right? You see all these wicks around here. You're going to struggle in the zone, which is what price is doing right now, right? And as you're struggling here, you're going to see consolidation for gold. You're going to see gold, just ranging for a long time before it breaks out and potentially come back into the range for a fake out, and then, grab liquidity to exit the range to continue down. You'll see a bunch of stuff. But the main thing is, currently for the daily, we have closed respecting, right? So there is less indication that gold wants to drive down, or it has enough liquidity to drive down. Previously, we had enough liquidity when we broke past this area, so we're looking for the range fill, which comes down to here, right? So when you break into a range, you typically get a range fill. As you fill the range, now price is still in this range. It hasn't gone anywhere yet because you haven't got a closure below. So at any given point, price can still come back up, create a top wick for us to come down, right? So let's look at the last times where price did create a top wick after closing below, or potentially what top wicks you needed for price to close below 1981, right? So I'm looking at this, right? Also looking at, potentially these wicks here, because you close below here and you grab liquidity around these areas. As you close below, you also have a little bit of liquidity, but that's less important to me. Cool, you wanted to continue driving, you grab liquidity towards here. All right, so I'm gonna have these areas as my main areas I'm looking at for liquidity. Obviously they're rather high, but this is the daily time frame, right? Any given point, right? The daily doesn't have that much of a top wick. We were very bearish, but there's a chance that price will come all the way back up, grab liquidity for us to continue down. And what is that also going to give us? Potentially a steeper weekly top wick, because our weekly doesn't have that much of a top wick. Does it need a top wick? Not necessarily, because you have a massive previous weekly top wick. So at any given point, price could just continue driving. But if the weekly comes up all the way to here, I'm not just going to look at, okay, I'm going to take a buy now, right? Because I'm still very bearish, understanding that you have closed back into this overall range. So price creating a steeper weekly top wick may just be it grabbing liquidity to continue down. All right, and on the daily time frame, I would say that it lines up, right? So if I just kind of zoom out a little bit, it looks like these areas, 2011, right, may get tapped if I move it slightly down towards 2010. So we may be looking for some swing trades around here, right, for price to tap into these areas for us to take price down. I'd say I'll move this down a little bit towards around here, right? So as you're still in this range, right, on the daily, this is your range. You have top wicks here, you have bottom wicks here, you have your support here, top of the range, right? And here as well, you have top of the range here. Any given point, price can continue to range here. And what is that going to look like? It's just going to look like this. Price just goes up and down in here. We don't know for how long, right? How long it wants to stay is completely up to price. But as price does that, we'll look for smaller trades within, right? So cool. 4 hour. Here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. We have some closures below with no bottom wicks, and we also have another 4 hour which closed. Yeah, well, it is closing, I think. Next one, well, it has closed actually. The next one hasn't opened yet, but you have closed basically looking more like it doesn't have enough liquidity to continue, right? You have no bottom wicks for both candles. When you typically see this for like a 5-minute candle, or like potentially like a 15-minute candle, you usually see a bit of a reversal. What does that indicate? That indicates price doesn't have enough liquidity to continue down. And this is in line with everything that we've just said, right? That daily wants to drive down, but it didn't close below, right? So it needs liquidity. 4 hours showing that as well. Weekly potentially could get a steeper top wick. We have no, not a very steep top wick at the moment for the weekly, which is, just from 2004 to 2008. So about 40 pips of a weekly top wick. But if it does come back up, we're still bearish, right? Overall, because the monthly is also bearish. So everything at the moment is aligned. But the key thing is we need liquidity. So we need those potential wicks up to these areas, or wherever this area is, for us to come down, right? And why do I look for liquidity? If you just look at every single other time that price has moved in any direction, you've grabbed liquidity, right? So for example, you've done this, right? For example, you're here, cool, you're in this area, right? Let's choose a slightly better example. This is not too bad, right? Or this. Overall, you're in this area, right? You push down, showing that you have enough liquidity at least to come down towards 2009, right? You consolidated here for a while, but you didn't break below 2009, right? You couldn't even close below 2017, right? So it's showing that price probably needs to grab more liquidity to go up. So in the case that if we just split this up and we just look at this, right? price, if we wanted to drive down, potentially needs more liquidity up here into these areas, right, to drive down. So as you've come down to these areas, you didn't break, so you came back into the range. And then the next time you ranged in these areas, right, you came up and came up, and you had all of these highs here, right, all of these highs towards around 2036. You didn't have enough liquidity to break, right? So you grabbed higher top wicks, steeper top wicks above, and then you started being able to drive down. Then you got closures, and your closures came down. Your closures came down to these areas, right? And then, you know, you had some top wicks and you continued down, right? But that's what we needed. We needed liquidity to come down. Another example of that, I think I saw something relatively good. I think we've used multiple ones in the past, but all of these are pretty good examples, to be honest. I'm just trying to find the cleanest one for you guys. These are all not bad. Yeah, it's just I want to find the best one for you guys. Who doesn't understand liquidity? I mean, that's probably the question to ask, right? Who wants to know more about liquidity? Because we can go on about this later on as well, but generally, if you look at this as well, right? So you have, you know, clearly a bullish trend going up, right? You wanted to continue up, but you didn't have enough liquidity here. It's showing, right? You then started ranging in this area, right? If I just extend this overall to here, you can see that you got a breakout below, probably on the smaller time frame, right? The 15 or whatever, because it's a 4-hour wick. As you came back into the range, you probably had somewhat of a fake out on like the hourly or whatever. Then you came back in, right? Came back into the range, and then now you're able to start pushing up, right? You pushed up to your next higher high, right? You then closed above here, you closed above, you went up to here, right? At this point, you still didn't have enough liquidity, so you came back down, grabbed liquidity, and you started ranging here for a while. All right, this is actually a pretty good example because you ranged here for a while, you grabbed a little bit of liquidity, you came back up because you didn't break all of these lows, right? Like, it's not like you came all the way back down to these areas to grab liquidity, right? You grabbed some liquidity, not too much, and you pushed up. But it's clear that as you pushed up to here and it's rejecting, you weren't able to continue up above 2006, 2009, right? So in that case, right, as price came down, we could look for liquidity spikes to come down, right? So this is a reversal liquidity where you're now ranging in this area. You're still in this area for, you know, for the majority between 31st of October and 3rd of November, so about 4 days, right? You then broke all the highs first, right? Broke the highs, then you started coming down. You came back into the range after a fake out, right? And then you started coming down. You got breakouts, and you started coming down all the way to here, right? And what does this show, right? It shows that if price wants to continue below this point, right, all of this liquidity here was not enough for us to break below this point, right? Only after you tapped into some ranges which are above where it is to grab orders, after that you were able to break below 1976. And as that happens, right, you've grabbed liquidity, you have your breakout, cool, we'll look to take price down. But that's essentially what we're looking for when we talk about liquidity, right? So if we just apply that to what's happening at the moment, currently, this is why I was, okay, let's mark up our 1 hour and 4 hour ranges for now, right? I'm going to go to the 1 hour for this because it's slightly clearer. I think it's around here. And let me move this down a little bit. Probably had something like around here. Cool. So it's looking like, you know, you tried to push down here, you didn't have enough liquidity, right? That's exactly what we just said. Now you're ranging here. So what are the potential options, right? We just broke this down. Either you go up or you down. You go up or down, right? There's only two options for gold. But to continue going down and breaking below, I would say 1975, you probably need some more liquidity, right? And in that case, where is the liquidity going to get grabbed, right? If you just look at the top of this range, it's usually above the range, right? So our range is towards 1983, I would say, the smaller time frame range. And if you go to like the 30 or the 15 or whatever, right, you'll see this is probably the top of the range. So cool. As we're looking for liquidity, where are we looking for that? Probably around these areas. So if price continues to drive down, this goes hand in hand with our current trade, right? But if price comes down just like this, am I expecting price to drive very far? Right? I mean, somebody in chat, right? If price does something like this, what are we scared of the trade, or what's happening, right? If price does something like this, what would you guys think when you see this on the charts as price is opening up in about 15-16 minutes here, right? No? Yeah, it's going to grab liquidity, right? It's going to eventually reverse. Why? Because it needs liquidity, right? And the liquidity exists above here. Well, this is likely because that's what we've been seeing the entire time, right? So as that's happening, I'm not that worried because I know that price needs to get into these areas before you're able to drive down. So what I'm going to be looking for is potentially this to come back in, and maybe if this has a bottom wick, we'll look for even more pineapples to continue towards the top of the range, right? Some buys above here, right? And as that happens, cool, we'll look to take this up to where it needs liquidity. And then once it goes there on the higher time frame, say the 4 hour or whatever, this will just look like this on the 4 hour, right? The 4 hour will literally just look like, potentially a bullish candle that looks like this to come up, right? So you've come down first. Actually, let me draw this. Let's say it's a bearish candle. Let's say this all happens within 4 hours. Comes down first, you're coming down, you have no top wick. It needs liquidity. It comes up, right? Grabs that top wick and then stops flipping bearish, right? So that's what you might see. And then this is the candle you'll see. And as you've grabbed that liquidity, you can see that price is going to continue down, right? That's what we're looking for because price is still respecting this area towards 1983. So any given point, we are bearish, right? So we need that liquidity grab and then we'll continue below this range. But as that happens, right, if price doesn't actually break all the lows, if it doesn't break all the highs into this box around here, taking the buys to potentially go up are not like, it is still viable. Like, you will need to see some specific setups for that to happen, but overall I would say it is a valid trade, and we've taken those trades multiple times in the past, right? But I would say if price is still like this for Asian or for New York even, I'd say the first thing that Don will likely do, if we're still, well, if say we're out of the trade, right, and we're still kind of printing similar ranges in between 80 and 83, what needs to happen for price to get up to this area is some smaller time frame liquidity, potentially on the 15, right? As the 15 is doing something like this, coming down to go up, right? Then to come down, right? That's what we're looking for. And this on the 15, if we just go out to the 30, right? What is this going to look like? This on the 30 or like the 1 hour, if you just consolidate, you're seeing this, right? You're seeing this, a bottom wick, coming up, flipping, and then just flipping back down, right? So this will just look like this on the higher time frame. You'll just see potentially this, right? Some candles that look like this. Then once you get this breakout, cool, we'll look for some breakouts below here, and if it's already grabbed liquidity, we may take this off the rip to continue down. But that's the overall thought process that we have, and is also why currently with our position, which I will put back up in just a second here, I'll put that back up at the end, but that's why we're understanding that there's a high chance that price is going to tap 1983, right? Is everybody feeling slightly more confident with the trade? That, whoever is still in the trade, do you feel slightly more confident now, right? In terms of overall direction, cool. 4 hour, you do have a level, I think, towards around, it's a little bit messy, but yeah, somewhere around these areas. It is a little bit messy, unfortunately. Yeah, the 4 hour is messy. I'd say it's more of a daily zone. The daily is so clear today. I would say you closed respecting 1981, so you don't have enough liquidity to go down, which is even more reason that price needs to go up before it can come down. You may see the next daily actually print relatively bullish, right? For us to grab liquidity number one, or number two, you may just see a range fill back up, all the way back up to, like, I don't know, 2000, around 2000 levels. You may see that. Let's see if there is a 4-hour level actually. Like overall ranges for 4-hour, it's looking relatively, it's not too clean. Yeah, the previous ranges that were created were not the best. Let's see. I have a level there. Potentially a level around. No, it's not even. Yeah, that's. I kind of only have 2 levels on the 4-hour. Anything in the middle here is like I probably can only use this. I would say. Probably slightly lower around these areas. So you kind of close respecting on the 4-hour as well. I would say. And overall, if you're just in this range, you just fill up and down, right? Up and down, up and down. If you close back up, you fill up and down here. Fake out, come back down, cool. But this is the liquidity we need, right? If we're ranging and this is in the zone here, what do you need to break down? Because you haven't been able to close below. You need that liquidity, right? You get that liquidity around these areas, then cool, you'll come down, right? But that's what I'm looking for in general, I would say. Or about the news, I don't think you have very high impact. And also, like, there's a high chance that we'll exit before news because you're not even that far away. You're like, what, 10 pips away? And currently there's spreads going on because it's like the daily's closed. I'm pretty sure you may just open up with price and it'll just go straight up towards TP. So I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. And I don't think you guys should be either, especially after what we just broke down just now, right? But if you're 4 hours in this range overall, expect it to range here, right? You could say there's like some minor resistance around these areas, right? So in that case, it's also fine. It means that you're probably going to come up to 1985, right? So you understand you're in a range, right? So wait for the range fill, wait for price to kind of just print whatever it needs to print. And you should be good, right? You have a top of the range here. You tap into these areas every time before you want to drive down, right? Previously, you had 1976. You closed below here. You still didn't have enough liquidity. Came back up 1985.2, and then you were able to pop down. So I think I actually had my TP at 1985.2, right? But if I wasn't looking for any trades at the moment, I'd probably wait till 1985 was tapped, right? And a daily, oops. For example, if something like this happens where we're closing respecting potentially 1983 on like the hourly or whatever, as price is doing that, then it wicks up to 1985 or even towards like a 1987.9. I may get some selves to come down, but because we're currently in a trade, let that trade play out first, and then afterwards, right, maybe we'll get some other trades. But yeah, you may also be in the situation where Don is looking for a break of the lows to come up to the highs, right? That's a trade that we've been looking at, for the past couple of days, where we're understanding that price, whatever happens, will probably need to come down to go up, right? Because we're understanding it needs to go up, and the reason you don't take the buys to go up is because you're very bearish. Any given point you can rip down, right? We're just saying there's a high chance that price will go up, right? But in any case, you will probably need to tap into these areas, right? And you have a stop loss above 1985 around like these areas, right? And as price is printing, you have multiple options. As like if it's doing this and it comes down, cool, you're in profit, right? That's case one. Case two, if it does come up first, we'll get pineapples to come down, right? And it'll need to tap this area before it goes up anyways, right? Because you need a break of the lows. Or the more likely scenarios, price will come up, you'll get a small break up, but you won't get it all the way up to 1985. Then you come back down, break all the lows to get liquidity, and then you'll start retesting these highs, right? And on the higher time frame, this could just be the move to grab liquidity to come down. But at the moment, I would say we're in a trade, so don't worry about it too much. Then the 1 hour time frame, I think at the end of the chat, there is a falling wedge pattern. I have no idea what a falling wedge pattern is, unfortunately. The only strategy or kind of thing I look for is just price action, what price is doing currently on the charts, and to me that's honestly just candles and whatnot. But price, literally, it's showing you exactly what it wants to do, right? Even here, you had this form, you then had a 15 which broke the lows, and then you came up. This is why we got into, I think, some buys around these areas, because you understand that if you're going to break all the lows and then start reversing up, you probably want to come up to grab the liquidity. This is your smaller time frame liquidity grab to go up, right? To grab that higher time frame liquidity. So on the hourly or whatever, you may see price come up to these areas, break all these highs now, to then come down, right? So everything aligns, like your 5 and your 15 will print ranges, right? Then you'll break out of those ranges, break all the lows or break the highs. Then you'll grab higher time frame liquidity, right? So the 15 breakout is likely to go towards the hourly breakout, right? And then it's so on and so on. Then all the time frames suddenly align, and that's when you can take a trade. So that's what I would say. In terms of the current trade, I think we are in towards around these areas. Our stop loss is, I think, around like 0.5 or something. Yeah, something like that, right? So we were really close to stops, but we had a good stop. So I was considering using this stop here, but then if we use this stop, we probably should have just used this stop. But yeah, I think Don used this wick here, which it makes sense as well because you have some rejections around these areas. Overall here you have this rejection here. Yeah, it's just, you know, overall it's not too bad. I maybe would have put it down to here, but it's all right. But yeah, I think, you know, we have positions here, and then what was it? Long position, I think, like here, which we're currently looking to take towards 1983. Let me just put this on real quick. Right, so I think that's what we're looking for, towards this area. 0.62 stop loss. Yeah, it's about right. But yeah, that's essentially any overall questions before I open it up to. Yeah, that pineapple, Jesus, man, 6.5. That's nuts, man. And it's gonna hit TP. Yeah, you're only 12 pips away, right? And usually, like, especially with the daily open or the daily closure being respecting 1981, it's a high chance you're going to need a top wick, right? And you will print a top wick because you don't have enough liquidity to continue down. So 10 pips for price to move on a daily is very, very achievable, right? Even if all goes wrong and daily actually just comes down, you'll probably get a 10 pip top wick. So I'd imagine you are very, very likely to be fine. Right, cool. I'm going to open up the Zooms. The boys can start asking questions. But yeah, welcome to 85 people. I think we peaked at 90 something just now, but hey Tom, long time no see.
Yeah, I know, I've been crazy busy.
It's alright, it's alright. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
How's your injury?
It's alright. I mean, I can like walk basically fine.
Yeah.
The only issue is I can't really do any sports, so today that's why I could have like a bit of a head start for streaming. Because I typically have to come back from training. But yeah, hopefully I'll be okay for whenever I get back to the competition stuff.
Good to hear.
Isn't it better to use? Oh, you have a question?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
got a few.
go for it.
So one was like a fairly basic one. So
Yeah.
basically, I was watching one of the live streams, Don's live streams of the day, and I was basically saying how that he would have preferred after a breakout to get like a celery. So like let's say we are bearish.
Yeah.
He prefer like a bullish close.
Yeah.
Compared to like a doji or even a bearish close.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is that purely based on like because the the advantage level be bigger, you can secure more pips, or is that to do with a bit more of like
It's a confirmation thing. It's a confirmation thing. So for example, if you're coming down, right? Let's say you're bearish, right? You come down, say you get so you don't get a breakout here, and then let's say you do get a breakout, right? After this, you haven't grabbed liquidity in these areas, right? One way you could potentially look to take price down continually is, you have multiple ways, right? Either it comes up, creates a very steep top wick, flip, right? Then cool, we'll look for those sells to come down, right? But another way you could is potentially if price prints something that looks like this, the celery, because you now establish that and obviously if you're taking a celery, right, as price is doing this, you have your first confirmation that it hasn't broken back above here, right? That's your first confirmation. Your second confirmation that you typically need is we typically don't take the celery with wick entries or, like off the rip. We typically take it at the break of the lows or the flip of the candle, right? So as price is now coming back up to create this top wick, usually looking for this again to break some highs or whatever, and on the flip potentially we'll look for this entry. And this is essentially, once this flips, right, it's established that you have a resistance here, right? And that's essentially the trade, that the entire idea behind it. Like this compared to this, like a breakout below, right, and then this to come down, I would say it depends on the situation. If it's printing really quickly, like, right after news, something like this may play out more often. If you're just pushing, there's not much news, but you do have some volume, I'd say this sometimes may happen a little bit more. And usually we also look for this in the form of zucchini, where let's say you were bullish all of a sudden, right? Let's say you were coming up to these areas, right? Oops. Let's say you get something that looks like this, where you have some bullish closures above. Cool, you get a bullish closure, no top wick. Then you get a bearish closure coming back into the range. So cool, it's looking like you have a bit of a fake out, or you need more liquidity, right, to go up, as we just mentioned. As you're coming down, you're breaking back into this range. What we'll look for a lot of the times, well, we haven't had this trade for a while, but it's something that looks like this, where you have this celery top wick and then coming down, confirming that you have a range 1 breakout, and then it turned into a fake out, right? That's number 1. You have a range 2, right, which you got a range 2 breakout, and you then have the further confirmation that it wants to continue down, because at any given point, this candle here, this bullish candle, could have just done this, and then your next candle could have just broken the lows to continue up, right? And that would just be following the bullish trend. So in this case, when you have the bearish closure below, breakout, bullish closure respecting, and then the top wick breaking to come down, we could then look for this as the potential trade. Yeah.
And also, I guess you could say, like, you're creating some sort of resistance on the bearish scenario. Also, could you say, like, you're also respecting structure as well? So if it just keeps pushing down in one direction, you're expecting at some point to get a retracement.
Yeah.
Bullish closer is
I would yeah. The thing is, a lot of the times, if it is really aggressive, price will just do this, and in these cases, we just can't get an entry, essentially, unless price gives us like a really fucking high top wick, and then we just enter like around these areas. But it's still hard. Yes, market has opened, guys. I will check the market open, but there's not going to be that much volume coming in. Like, realistically, you're going to be pushing like 1 or 2 pips. It hasn't actually opened yet. You guys are trolling me. But yeah, like, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, guys, the market opens just when it wants to open. Oh, it's opened, right? Cool. Look at that. We have a top wick. It's probably going to come up a little bit further, and you should be good, right? Don't stress. No stress, no stress. But yeah, look at this. I mean, you can stare at it all you want, but you're likely gonna come push up, and yeah, that'll be it basically. Market is open, yes. Apologies. Where is my phone? I've lost my phone. So good. But yeah, guys, market's open. It's obviously, we have a top wick first. Whether it continues pushing up right now or whether it, starts coming down first, it doesn't really matter, right? Because we've done the analysis, we understand what we're looking for. So just wait for it to play out, right? It can either go up or it can go down, as we mentioned. But in both scenarios, we're looking for liquidity before it wants to come down. And if it wants to go up, then cool, it goes up and hits our TP, right? What times do I stream? It is every day, yes. So we stream at 10:30 p.m. London every single day. And yeah, that's essentially, we do the pre-Asian analysis. So it's, obviously we don't really get trades. But say Don is in a trade and it's more of a 24-hour trade, we try to reassure some people. I'd say that's, the first thing that we do. Secondly, it's more for educational purposes. So we kind of do a review on what price did for the day. And then we just look at, where price is potentially going to go for the next day. And it's very much education based. We try to teach people the strategy. Yeah, just as Don has taught me, I am trying to give back and teach you guys. That is basically the entire. That's basically the gist. Let me just look at my MT5 on my phone, guys. Yeah, we are basically break even. You are, I think, just a couple pips away. No rush though, right? It's not like, oh yeah, we're really close now, so I'm gonna exit full now. Like, no, just let it play out. It'll be fine. I think you had like the tiniest gap, but you also can't really see gaps on Oanda. You can see it on your broker, but you typically can't see it on Oanda. But yeah, if this 15 flips to come down, then cool. You may see some more drawdown before you're able to take it all the way up to the top. But in general, we're still looking for the same thing, right? Nothing has changed. Hey Johnny, how you doing?
Questions
Yep,
about this trade? I didn't take it.
that's right.
I didn't like it.
Yes, that's fine.
So the 30 and the 15, we had a breakout, right?
Yep, we had a breakout. Yeah, like these areas.
And then we took a buy.
Yeah. So you know how we typically, like, for example, when it's ranging, like let's say it was ranging here, we're looking for the liquidity potentially above to go down, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at the 1 hour flip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of the 30.
Yeah, potentially. Hey Jack, how you doing? I think in general, I think that the overall trade idea was that the 30 closed below, right? You had no top wick for this 30 and it pushed down first. You're expecting some liquidity to be grabbed around, I'd say in this box, like around here, all the way up to around these areas. So as that's happening, right? Cool. It probably stops the break even as you tap like 92 or whatever, and then that. But obviously it didn't happen, right? I mean, I think yesterday's analysis, we also mentioned that I wanted price to like come up towards these areas again before coming down, which you still could do maybe if the weekly starts printing bullish for a bit, but yeah, like that's why like generally we're looking for liquidity to come down. So, but yeah, like I think we were very bearish, and maybe in hindsight taking the breakout below, and then the buys, yeah, we'll just put it in the playbook and we'll see.
It was a bit weird because the hourly candle just before was showing like pretty positive bullish signs to the broke below and closed respecting, but then the next 30 just broke out. But the
Yeah.
4 hour didn't look too positive for a bullish move.
Was this the 4 hour?
Yeah, I had a level at 1994-ish.
94. Oh, you had it just above.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Did you have it based off of this? Or like this up here?
That sort of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And that showed it broke below and then had doji respecting.
Yeah.
And then was pushing down, so I wasn't really sure.
That's
Was gonna
fine.
take over the 4 or the 1. So
Yeah,
then I was
yeah.
looking for one, basically a higher time frame flip, because
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's like, I don't want to take this 30 breakout because the hourly before just like hard rejected off this area,
yeah, yeah.
and
I'm
then I didn't want to take the 30 flip because the 4 hour wasn't looking good for me.
Yeah, I think just looking back at it, I feel like the 4 hour was actually, for me, it was pretty clean. Like you had a closure, bullish closure respecting 1992. So we put this here. This would have been my level, respecting this. And then your hourly, for me, would have had a bottom wick breaking all the lows to come up. So I'd expect this to come up, I would say. Obviously, your next 30 started driving down. But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I was like, the lower time frames are looking to go down, and then the 1 hour's definitely looking
Yeah,
bullish.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, I just wait. If it's going to push up, it'll flip the 1 hour. Was what I thought. So
Yeah,
I was like, I may
fair.
as well just wait for that confirmation to override the breakout.
Mm. Yeah, I think like every time we see this, we're just like, oh, like you need to break these highs before. I mean, you might see it for today's daily. Like you may just see a candle which, looks like this to continue down, right? But it comes all the way up to these areas first, right? And if that happens, then great. We'll look to take buys continuing down, but sorry, sells to continue down. But yeah, I think may also based off. I fully understand that like if we were looking at your level at like 1994, then it wouldn't have made sense. So
Well, I mean, I
yeah,
had a level at 1992 and 1994.
yeah, fair. Yeah, I mean, as long as it lines up with everything you're looking for, and then you take it, that's the most important thing. So if you stuck to your plan, like that's it. That's all you can kind of hope for, right? And also now you prevented yourself from all this drawdown, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that actually is like quite a good point to make there. I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, but I had a similar experience today. So I got to the charts a bit late when Don was already in the buys,
Yeah,
and like similar to Johnny, I wasn't that confident in the buys once you got those couple of hour closures below.
yeah, yeah,
I actually took sells. I mean, I don't know, about 30 pips or something.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was a good point. Like, just to trust your analysis. Like, just because. I mean, Don says it all the time on the streets, right? He said like, just because we're in a buys doesn't mean you can't be sells, and vice
Exactly,
versa. So it's like,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, not to be too worried about what other people are taking. Just focus on your trades aren't you?
I took some sells, but there was a 5-minute closure that really threw me off on at some point. I'd have to take a look at what it was.
oh yeah. I mean, fair enough. But I think overall, like, I think Don says this all the time as well. Like, people who are in buys whilst we're in sells, or people who are in sells whilst we're in buys, we can very easily both win,
Exactly.
right? Like, for example, if I was in let's say you got in slightly later, right? Say you got into like a buy towards like these areas as your whatever, right? And somebody else was looking for a sell around these areas, like both you probably could have won, like both of you. Or like say you're in this range here, right? In this range here, and then you're looking for, okay, cool, I want to get a buy and then a sell, right? You could probably look for a buy here, and some people were looking for sells here, some people looking for sells here. You'd both be correct. Or some people took a sell as you were like potentially breaking out here, and then like you closed full here. Like there's so many ways. It just depends on how long your time frame is, and whatnot, right? But
Exactly.
oh yeah, you're 5
I think it was at 4.
at so around here.
Yeah, I have
Oh, this one.
1983.3 basically. I was in sales on like the 15 time frame, and this 5 came in.
Oh, so all of these.
Broke out above. So then I just took it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
took it on like break of the lows. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, fair, fair.
15 top weights flipped, and then I took a break of the lows.
Yeah.
It's just then it pushed back up.
Yeah, I think as it broke all these highs and then started breaking lows, you probably could have taken something. Yeah, it's not bad.
Actually, that sort of leads into one question I had as well. So, like, for example, in today's position, when we broke all those highs and then flipped again,
Yeah.
I was almost tempted to take up another position, but then because it's not my plan, I thought best not to.
Yeah.
What's your sort of opinion? See, obviously, with respect to the strategy, there's obviously Pineapple, which is taking positions when you're in drawdown, but then is there any room to taking, stacking positions on the way down when it's moving in your direction?
I think I rarely stack on the way, which is like in line with what I'm looking for. So for example, it's coming down. If I'm going to sell, I rarely stack on the way down, but I close and then I usually look for another breakout if it makes sense to continue down.
Right.
Yeah, but that's, yeah, I mean, it does definitely work for some people as well. So don't disregard it. And if you can incorporate it into your strategy, definitely do so. By the way, guys, you have a 15 closure with no top wick. Probably going to close full right here, actually. Don't know what Don's going to do, but I am closing full right here. As you have no bottom wick on the daily, and your 15 closed no top wick, right? So I have closed full. Yeah, and I think you probably also tapped TP. For those who didn't tap TP, I've closed full there anyways. So I think, congrats to everybody who's made it. Yeah, you're probably like, this is likely to create a top wick. You'll be fine, right? But yeah, that's the trade. So everybody who did get out, congrats, right? We started the stream, started the trade in New York, and we ended it in pre-Asian, but it all works out. This is why we have DVS 24/7, right? So because you have no topic on on the 15, any given point, this next 15 can come up, still push up, right? But because there's no topic, there's a high chance that it will continue to flip bearish and come down, right? So I would just say, you've been in drawdown for quite a while. You're at a point where you can exit break even or slightly in profit. Probably take it and look for your next setup, right? There's no need to continue being in this trade. But yeah, W. Yeah, the man must be stopped. He is now 44 win streak, which is absolutely nuts. But yeah, chat. That's basically the trade. I say it like it's my trade, but not really. It's his trade. We just closed it around here. 15 no top wick. If this starts driving down, creates a bottom wick for the next 15, you'll likely see some structure around these areas, right? After you see some structure, you may see some break of the lows below into here before you're able to drive back up. So are you going to sit through all that drawdown? Probably not, right? There still is a chance that price will drive up, but it's just 50-50 now with the 15 closure, no top wick. But yeah, congratulations to everyone. Yeah, no worries, Louis. We're here every single day. DVS is here every single day, 24/7. So whatever you guys need, you can always ask one of us, and we'll be there to answer. I think it's difficult to ask Don many questions in the New York session because there's so many people. But I think when you come to one of the like pre-sessions, you're usually fine. Don, we can't. What?
Sorry. I was just going to say I had another quick question, but...
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So basically, I sort of found myself, I can't remember what day it was, but one of the trigger days. I'd taken a win a bit earlier in the session, and then took another position a bit later on. And it ran a sort of decent, it was about 30 pips in profit.
Yeah.
And I felt like because I'd already won that day, I sort of let it run maybe a bit longer than I normally would.
Yeah.
And like my understanding, sort of my psychology at the time was like, oh, okay, I've already got a win for today. I can let this one run a bit on was a little bit less aggressive with sort of closing forward. And, I still followed sort of close moving stocks to break even stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then I sort of after the trade, I was thinking, on reflection, is that something I should be doing? Because that's sort of, letting historical trades and that psychology behind that get in the way of like my strategy, I guess. So I was wondering what your thoughts on
I
that.
think in general, this is something that I've been discussing with Don as well. I think in general, when you become like a profitable trader and you've been trading for a long time and you're making, money consistently off of it, there's no need to be on the charts 24/7. You take one trade, one good quality trade, and that's kind of you done for the day. That's why you see Don take one trade and it's like, yeah, I'm done, right? Because realistically, that's all you kind of need, right? So if you are taking a second trade and you're looking to kind of, hold runners, potentially move that to stops to break even relatively soon, I think that's a good strategy, right? Because you've seen another setup, you're understanding that you've already had a win for the day, any given point, right? Because you've gone into another trade, that is more risk, right? So it depends on what you're looking to do, but like I would say, yeah, you're managing risk through that method, which is definitely fine, I would say.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like because a lot of people don't realize, but they'll trade. This is what overtrading is, but it's often I'd say overtrading is something that people don't realize. So you get into a trade, you've won or you've lost or whatever. Losing is slightly more difficult, but you get into a trade, say you win, then you're like, oh, okay, cool, I've taken a winner today, but what's to stop me to take another trade, right? I can take another trade. I can see the markets are still moving. I can probably do something there. You take another trade, right? Cool, you're taking another win or whatever. But then now you're chasing the wins. You're like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll just have a win streak today, or you haven't lost today or whatever. Then you take a loss. And you're like, oh shit. Well, then I had that much money. Now I've got less. So what do I do?
Yeah, you wasted it all. Yeah.
Right, and then that's how it comes up. But as long as you are conscious about it, like you understand that every time you even click a buy or sell, that is risk. That's the main thing I would say.
Yeah, and also I think during while you're actually trading, I think it's also quite hard during like when you're actually sitting watching the charts to sort of differentiate between taking another position because you think it's a valid position and just taking a position because you want to take another position.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of the times you'll get into a position because it's like, oh, you just love trading, right? And you get into a position and it's like, well, fuck. Like now I don't like. Look, the thing is, you don't like trading. You like winning. And that's the
Yeah,
difference, right?
yeah,
If you stop winning, then you'd be like kind of scared. You're like, oh shit, should I continue going on the charts? But yeah, that's what I would say is the main thing.
yeah. And also you mentioned you know um, someone like Don, who's profitable and making money from it and that sort of thing. Taking one trade is sort of like all they need and they just like call it a day there. Whereas I feel like right now in my current situation, I'm not really trading for the money as such. I'm sort of trading for the skill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
trading for
sometimes I
skill.
feel like I want to take another trade, not because like it's another win, for example. It's just for that like more experience and sort of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
getting the motion of things and like entering trades
yeah.
and that sort of thing.
So I was looking at that previously. So I thought like, okay, so if I just look at every single setup that is possible during the day, I'm just filling up my playbook, right? And that in the future, that's going to help me understand that, okay, cool, like these trades work out, these trades don't work out. But what I didn't realize, and something that actually took me a while to realize, is after you've taken your first trade, you naturally gain some bias. And it's something you can't control, right? Well, it's very difficult to control, I would say, right? So if you say win, right, you are in a slightly better mood, obviously, right? And you're like looking at, okay, potentially if I take a trade, I can, get some extra profits for the day, right? That's what you're thinking of. Like, even if you're not actively thinking about it, it's in the back of your head. If you take a break even, right, you're like, oh, shit, I haven't made any money today. If you take a loss, I've lost money today. Like, these things will affect you. And the more trades you take, the worse it gets, I would say. Which is why potentially over time we'll move towards, 1 to 2 trades a day. And once you get to that point and you're able to just stop, then I would say, yeah, like it's FOMO and, other stuff as well. Don is calling me on Discord. Motherfucker. Yo. Can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me?
Yo,
Ah, Don.
Yo,
Yo, you can hear me, right?
yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, can you guys hear him on Zoom?
yeah.
Can you
Oh,
guys?
yeah, stream raid is
Yeah, you're rating the stream. Can everybody hear him on chat? I don't
yeah,
know. Chat's gonna be a little bit delayed. Sup. Did you close? You closed full, right? You had TP there.
yeah. We hit TP.
Yeah.
We hit TP completely. Did you close?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did a lot.
15 no top wick, right? Close full.
Yeah, bro. Congratulations. What a the last trade you took your drawdown limit got to you, but then you took something in your live and it ran so
No, the
smooth.
live is so much smoother. Like, cause I can move my. I was potentially looking at moving my stop loss even slightly further down, another like 30 pips, because I
Yeah.
can, right?
Uh-huh.
And as it was just printing, I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. But if you were on the funded, that's where it's more of an issue. But I'll get it down eventually. Not really worrying about it.
I think we got like 6 pips there or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Five,
something like that.
6 pips.
It's pretty
Yeah.
clean. Pretty clean.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
bro. I just wanted to see your reaction on that because you saw it live, right? You saw it hit TP live at some point,
yeah,
right?
yeah. We're still watching it drive at the moment. I think my full TP was 1985.2, which I'm expecting it still to tap. But at the moment, we'll see. I can't get any sales at the moment, but yeah, that's good trade. Good trade. We'll be back tomorrow for New York.
Yes, sir, bro. I'll let you go do your thing. Go kill the last one.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
yeah. Easy.
Easy, yo.
Yeah. See ya. Sorry about that, guys. Don just raided. Did you guys heard
It's
him?
all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The man just calls me out of fucking nowhere sometimes. Like I'm taking a shit, he just takes. Okay. Anyways. Um. Oh yeah, you guys. I think chat couldn't really hear him, but anyways. What's the best point to take a sell? So originally I was saying that I'm looking for potential sells at 1985, right? But what I'm understanding, right? If you're looking for the sells at 1985, I think it's based off the hourly. You have to be a little bit careful now, right? Because your daily has no bottom wick, obviously, but it's just pushing up. You're not respecting anything. Wait for a couple candles to close. For example, the 30, right? Wait for it to close, because if you're closing so bullish above the range and your previous 30 actually closed slightly above, right? I would say it's difficult to get into a sell right off the bat. I would need a 30 closure that's respecting here at 1983 first. If that happened, then cool. I'll look for trades. But you have 3 minutes, and I don't think you'll. I mean, with the way it's pushing, it depends. And also the next candle, right? It needs to come up first instead of come down first, because if it comes down first, creates a bottom wick for the next 30, or for the last 30, it will just go up. It'll just go up. So that's what I'm overall. That's what I'm looking for on the hourly. I think last time you were in this range, you grab liquidity outside of the range towards around 91, but yeah, I think the current position wise, you probably can look to take some maybe around here for now, around 1987 for now, not 1985, but depends. Wait for a couple candles to print. Do I trade GJ? No, I don't, unfortunately, but I think I did a GJ analysis last night. Yeah. Wait for 2 hours, and then it'll have a little bit, better direction. You'll have like a couple candles closing, because at the moment your 4 hour hasn't really found any support, right? It's just kind of there. So wait for the 2 a.m. I think candle close. Just wait for price to settle a little bit. Yeah. After taking L, do you adjust your lot size? No, I do not adjust my lot size ever, unless I am, on a different account. Then yes, I will change my lot size. But after I take an L, I usually, so for example, if you're on a funded, you might not be able to trade anymore for that day because of the drawdown limit, right? But if you are on like a live account, then you possibly can continue trading. And in that case, I would probably still risk the same unless you've taken a massive L and you actually don't have any more margin. But in that case, I would question your over leveraging instead. Oh, you could get a 30 closure that's in this area, but we might just watch this play out. Not gonna lie, guys. You are bearish, but I don't know where that top wick is gonna be. You likely will need a bottom wick for this candle, but yeah. I'll see. Maybe it's not bad. Depending on how the 30 opens up, we may get a trade finally on pre-Asian. Cool. Which live I analyzed GJ? So I think last night's live. So the 10th of December. Let's have a look here. So your 30 just closed respecting. Are you creating a bottom wick first? The line is red. It's not a good sign. But yeah, typically you don't really get any volume during these times. So we usually don't really trade, but we'll see. You may get some trades. Like, look at this, right? If you got a trade at around 1985 here as you're coming down, you tapped into 1981 before you started going up. So can I look to take advantage of 1987? These areas. So you're coming down, you're ranging, 87, 88. It's probably where I'm looking for. What does pre-Asian mean? Pre-Asian means the session before Asian session, where you typically don't really get any trades because price has just opened up for the day. And you kind of have to, there's not that much volume, I would say. 30 closure is nice out of the 15. It's not bad. Yeah, if it comes up, breaks the highs, I may get into some sells, but depends on how high it pushes up, guys. But how am I going to sleep if I get into a trade? Brother.
You don't.
Yeah, you literally just don't sleep, do you? It's fucking annoying. Because then you end up like just being awake at like 2, 3 a.m.
A nightmare about him.
Yeah, that's what typically happens.
You don't want to take a trade after all. It's draining seeing him draw down for like 8 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, with the oops. Oh, we can delete these. Look at that. That feels great, doesn't it, guys? 3 a.m. Yeah, like I used to like kind of join Wix's stream like back when I was like learning the strategy and everything. Hey Silent, how you doing? I'd be up for like literally every session, right? I'd be like, whoa, okay, I need to look at Asian session, I need to trade New York session, I need to trade London. Like I was trading everything, and then eventually I was like, like I am really tired. I have not got much sleep in the past month or whatever. So eventually I started just trading New York, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. Where am I based? I'm based in London, so pre-Asian for me is actually like right now it's like 11:30 p.m. And New York for me is around lunchtime. But yeah, we have people in DVS streaming every single session, so UK time is like 4. What was that?
Have you taken a trade on lunch break, like at the office?
Oh yeah, many times. Yeah. Who are all the DVS squad? I think if I type DVS stream, that might pop up. Please do your thing. I swear to God. Oh wait, no, it might be one thing. DVS stream. man, I don't know. If you just scroll up, you'll see all the things. But you have DonVo for New York, obviously. Then you have me for pre-Asian. Then after me, you have Wix, who is actually Asian session, who's going to be on in about like an hour and a half. And then after that, you have Kieran, who is pre-London session, right? Pre-London, and then you have Janez for London. Then you have Huss for pre-New York, and then you have me again. Oh, you have Don and then me. Yeah, that's basically it. And it's basically like a rotor. I think eventually we'll have like on the CFX website or whatever. We'll. Oh no, it's flipping. If it flips, I can't get anything, guys. And I can go to bed. I don't know if I'm happy or not. Any chance to check if I'm banned on Don's chat? I don't know. I'm not even a mod on Don's chat. Because I don't really use chat very often. So I told him there's no point. I'm not trying to just be mods and everywhere, just like kind of show off or whatever. I really don't care. I just want to trade, man. Don't know what I did, but your message didn't show up. Yeah, I mean, try tomorrow. Yeah, it depends. You must have done something right. If your chats are completely disappearing, you probably did something wrong, man. Like, if not bottom wick, then it will go up. I'm not too sure what you mean by if not bottom wick, it will go up. I think so. So what I was potentially, the only trade I was potentially looking for is if this 30 pushed up with no bottom wick, right? So you pushed up all the way to around 1983. Ah, Nightbot, there you go. These are all the links. Yeah, so if you guys are looking for links, this is everyone. But if this 30 pushed up with no bottom wick, we could be looking for wick entries to come down because we're understanding that overall we're bearish, right? Pushing up to this area is more likely to be a liquidity grab. You have no bottom wick for your 30. You have no bottom wick for your hourly, 4-hour, daily, right?
So you're staying up for the buy stop on the daily?
Nah. But at this point, you can't get anything, I think. Even if the 4-hour or the hourly flips, you probably can't take anything because you'll need a steeper wick now. Because your 30 is coming down, you'll likely create a bottom wick for this. And if you start pushing back up, you may get some sells at 87. If that does happen, the sells either at 87 or potentially towards like 91. These sorts of areas. Those are my two sell levels, I would say. Oh yeah, chat, can we hit 100 likes? We have 75 likes, which I think is an all-time high. 121 people here on a random Monday night. But yeah, well, welcome to everybody on the stream. Welcome. If you are new here, we do gold analysis. That's basically it. When does Asian open in UK time? So around, I think, what is it? 12:30, 1 a.m.?
Or something.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah. Jumped over from Don's stream. Welcome. Yeah, I need to get my commands done. But yeah. Wait, Johnny, where are you? Let me mod you. You guys have been here for a while. I can mod you guys. Tom, type something.
What does money even do? I don't even know.
I think it allows you to ban people. So don't abuse your power. Like if you can you even ban me? Oh fuck. No. I think we're good. Wait, BitMeSome, is BitMeSome a mod for Don's channel? BitMeSome, I think you are, right? Bit me. Yeah, you're a mod for Don. Say less. I need mods. There we go. Cool. Right, we have 3 mods. We have some regulations. You're now in a jail cell. Welcome. Oh, we're 2 likes away from 100 likes. Can I like my own stream? Or is that too sad? It's like the guy who like goes on Instagram and like just posts and then like likes his own post, and like everybody who then goes, like they just see liked by the creator, and it's just like, man,
Yeah.
that's so sad. A103. Yeah, bit me. I trust you if you're a Don mod for Don as well. I trade Don's. I would say I just trade his strategy. His strategy is ever changing, right? we introduced liquidity. We introduced like zucchinis and a bunch of other things, right? And you know, it's just we're adapting as we go, I would say. But when pulling liquidity is just a wick and it pulls liquidity, or does it have to be a full candle? Oh, so it depends. All right. So for example, on the 4-hour, you may see a wick. So in these areas, right? Let's just say, like, what was the best example? Let's say you were in this range. Yeah, here, right? You're in this range here. You see this? This is a wick, right? This is a wick that's on the 30-minute. If I go down to the 5, what you'll see is it's probably candles, right? Because the 5-minute, as you're continuing down, you have candles on the 5-minute to come down and then go back up, right? So here, coming down, coming up, and this is all on the 5-minute. So it depends what time frame you're on. I would say generally, if you're on the higher time frame, you may just see a wick, right? And especially if it's just like after news or whatever, it'll come down and then come up really quickly, right? And you may only see wicks, sometimes even on the 5-minute. But generally, you probably will see it on the higher time frames, like the 30, hourly, and 4. And on the smaller time frames, what you'll typically see is some actual range, because this is a 5-minute range to come down to here. You just filled the entire range, right? So yeah, that's the main thing. Any other questions from the boys?
I don't want just about like what was your experience like with the funded, and have you got any sort of
Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure fundeds out, but it's a very different trading style, I think. Um, I think, yeah, so I'm working with Huss at the moment to see how the kind of overall strategy is for funded. But basically, I think Don mentioned this today as well. Like fundeds, they make money off people who fail, right?
yeah,
So they want you to fail, which immediately puts you in a disadvantage, right? Because if you're trying to win in a place where they're kind of gaming the system for you to lose, it's a little bit more difficult, right? For example, I mean, the key thing is, say you have like a 5% drawdown limit, but you have to make 8%. So technically, you have to over risk. If not, it's going to take you forever to get there. Right, so they've kind of gamed that a little bit, unless you kind of go really slow and you take it like 2-3 months, which is fine as well, right? But overall, I think the funded game needs to have its own strategy. Like if you're trading a funded, you need to have the funded version of a certain strategy. I think the strategy we're working with also does work, but you'll probably need to scale it down in terms of lot sizes for this to work, because you have higher stop losses, right? Larger stop losses. And if you're trading a style that has slightly smaller stop losses, or it's just tighter overall, then you can probably look to take that to funded, and that's fine. But yeah.
would you look at sort of your average stop loss and your average stop loss when you take pineapples and sort of calculate the maximum pip risk, and then
Yeah, so for
apply them to
example,
the account?
like when I was on the 100K, right? Essentially, I had enough for 5 pineapples. Sorry, 4 extra pineapples. So each one of my 150 pip stop losses was 1%.
Okay, yeah, got it.
So I think it was just under one lot at that time, and then over time I scaled that up a little bit because I wasn't using all those pineapples. So even for example, this trade that we had today, you had 2 pineapples, right? So you probably don't need
Yeah,
to risk that like low amount, because for example, if you're getting into trades, you're taking 10 pips or whatever on like a one lot, it's $100, right? You need 10 of those to make 1%, right? To make 8%, you need 80 trades at 10 pips.
That sounds like one swing trade to me.
Yeah. But your swing trade stop loss is massive as well, right? Unless you're a DonVo and you swing with barely any stop loss or barely any drawdown, really.
You still have a funded?
No, I'm trading live at the moment. So for example, if I traded this on the funded, it would have been fucked, right? Because we had a stop.
Calculated it right, it would have been fine.
Yeah, if you calculated it right, but then you'd probably like exiting, like for example, let's have a look, right? Your full stop loss was from 19, like around these areas, right? So from here to here, so 150 pips, right? Let's say your second position like had no drawdown or whatever, so 150 pips. Let's say you could probably risk like a 2.5 lot, right? For 150 pips, that's around 4%, 3 to 3.5 to 4% risk, and you'd made 6 pips. So 6 pips on that, that's like $180.
Yeah.
So how many of those would you need? Not to say like it doesn't work. I will find a way to make this work. Like I will. It'll just take time.
I think they can be like quite large swings. And then
I think yeah, like
take it out before you get back from the positive. So.
I think overall, I'm probably gonna wait till either funders get you have like a massive discount, whatever, and then I come back and buy a couple, or I don't know. Live's going pretty well. We'll see. Live's feeling good, even though it's like not massive profits, right? Because my live is quite small, but it just feels nice to trade overall. Because you're not dependent. Like when I'm in a buy, I can take a sell as well. Or like if I'm in a buy like down up to these areas, when I'm down here, I can take a slightly bigger buy, and it's not like the martingale strategy or whatever, right? Stuff like that. Yeah.
Well,
But
you are worried about like using funding to like scale up petrol and then go back to live.
yeah. I mean that's the dream, and that's what Huss is doing. Yeah. I think that's what I'm trying to do as well. But we need to sort out the strategy first, and then, well, the strategy for the funded, and then yeah.
You're right, Jacob.
I think Jacob's kind of cutting in and out. How old am I?
Hello?
Yo, how you doing, Jacob?
What's up, bro? Good.
Okay, so chat, how old do you think I am? I feel like we had this question like 2 days ago, or like last week.
Yeah.
But it's new people, I guess. Don is 23, which is nuts. Yeah, I'm 24. Yeah, okay, so you guys have been here. That's fine. I think I'm just like 1 year older than Don.
You look like at least 35,
Oh yeah, man. I look like I'm about to fucking retire with my negative pension. What did the 30 do? It's just hovering. Yeah. This is why we don't trade the session. You just have you have nothing here. No volume. It's just dead. Wix is 23. Wix is always going to be 23. 23-minute time frame looking pretty clean at the moment. You got a breakout if you respect on the next 23-minute candle, which is closing in about 6 minutes here. Could look to take this up, guys. Can I analyze GJ? I'll probably start analyzing GJ sometime in the future, but it's a bit late into the session. I'm probably going to call it relatively soon. When is their volume? I would say in when this 4 hour closes, you probably will get some volume, which is at 2 a.m., so approximately 2 hours and 11 minutes. Oh, sorry, 1 hour and 11 minutes. Right? No, sorry, 2 hours and 11 minutes.
What time did the banks start trading? Like 9?
It depends which banks, right? But
Yeah, it's not
let's
the
see.
session open, session closes, and news is spike coin.
Which country I'm in? I'm in London, guys.
London's a country now.
Great country, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a great country. I'm actually in Paddington. That's also a country. I'm on Elgin Avenue. Actually, that's also a country.
Just casually doxing yourself.
Soon you guys will know my entire address, and that's not good.
You're lucky you got the signals.
Yeah, mate. England is your city. Ah, nice city. Right, guys, I'm probably gonna call it around here. Yeah, because December, I realized that next week we will have no streams, unfortunately. So trying to do more kind of public streams for the rest of this week. But yeah, we will hopefully see everybody here tomorrow. But yeah, you three coming in tomorrow?
Yeah,
Probably.
Nice.
yeah, bro.
Right, cool. I'll see you Zoom tomorrow. But yeah,
Cool.
peace, guys.
Cheers.
Peace.
Bye.
Yeah, on the YouTube, guys, thanks for joining up, right? Summary, I guess, of the overall markets at the moment. You don't really have a lot of liquidity. The main point I think you guys need to take away is your daily has closed respecting 9081, right? Because of that, you can't really take any buys, you can't really take any sells, right? You need to wait for price to print a little bit of structure. If you want to get any buys to continue going up, you will need to see a daily bottom wick, right? And as you see that daily bottom wick, cool, you can look to take price up. But as of right now, I can't really do anything because price is just in this decision zone, right? Price is going to hover here for a while. But yeah, so, generally, if you do start going up, I am going to be looking for these sells. If you don't have the bottom wick and you're looking like you probably want to come back down to grab liquidity before you want to go up. So that's what I'm looking for, but that might happen in Asian, London, New York or whatever. But yeah, anyways, thank you very much for joining up the streams, guys. We've had, I think, not all-time high viewers, but I think like 120 something viewers, and I think maybe all-time high likes. So thank you very much. And yeah, I will see you guys all tomorrow. Hopefully you all learned something today. And if you come back tomorrow, I'm sure there's more to learn, more questions to answer, and more value to be gained. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.